this issue of the Sloth Report video log. Not to be confused with the regular Sloth Report, which is my private, online, instructional newsletter, magazine, whatever you want to call it. That's www.theswathreport.com if you want to sign up. Anyway, I wanted to talk this time about this problem that happens when you try to decide which variation of a technique you want to do. So like, let's say there's a move and teacher X says to do the move this way, and teacher Y says, no, do the move this way. Who do you listen to? Or if you see a YouTube video where the person says to do it this way, and somebody else on a different YouTube video, or your teacher or your friend says to do it this way, how do you choose which variation to do? Well, first, it's helpful to try them both out and see which one works better for you in sparring against your peers. Now, which one works better for you is usually going to be the one that solves more relevant problems for you. So, for example, if there's one version of an armbar from the guard that I do, and I see another version of it, I don't look at it thinking, oh, that's a cool version, I'm going to do that one instead of the one that I already do. I look at it and see whether or not it solves problems that I'm actually coming across in sparring, trying to use my version of the armbar. If it does look like it's going to solve some of those problems, I'll try it out, and I'll see if it actually does solve the relevant problems. Like, for example, when I go for the armbar from the guard, sometimes people will explosively rip their elbow out. So does this new version of the armbar from the guard solve the problem of somebody posturing up and ripping out? Or maybe another problem I run into is if they don't rip out, maybe they stack me up and put a lot of pressure on my lower back and try to rip out of it that way. Does this new variation solve that problem as well? So I try not to look at it as like, do I like this version or do I not like this version? Or, you know, does the version that this guy is 10 times world champ, do I listen to his version or her version? Or do I listen to my buddy's version who doesn't compete that much? I just look at it as, do the details that they're talking about solve relevant problems for me? And that's sort of an easy way to figure out, you know, which to spend more time on. It doesn't mean you have to choose one variation over another, by the way. It means you could, like, you have the basic shape of a technique, like the outline of how a technique works, what it's looking to accomplish, the basic concepts of the technique. And then the details are like little Legos that you plug in based on the problems that you're running into. So, if I take, like, let's say I have my version of the armbar from the guard that I really like doing, and I like doing it because I've had a lot of success with it, but there are certain glitches, certain bugs, certain problems with it. If I see another version of the armbar from the guard, I'm not going to ditch mine, but what I likely will do is maybe try to see if there are relevant Legos that I can pull out of that version and plug into my version to make my version work a little bit better and solve the relevant problems that I'm coming across. So that's an easy way to think about it. Just what are the problems that I'm having with trying to apply this technique? And does this other version have details or movements or ideas that solve those relevant problems? And then if that's the case and the version works overall better than mine, then I'll switch and invest time in practicing that version. If there are just certain parts that I can take from that version, plug into my current version, then I would do that as well, so that I don't lose all that training time with my version. I just need to make minor modifications. Anyway, enough nerding out. Let me know if you have any questions about that. You can comment on the YouTube video bottom, or you can send me a message on Facebook or wherever. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.